episode of the G Show podcast. I am G1, and this is the Godzilla Block Party. Woo! 4th of July came and went here in America. We celebrated our Independence Day. I watched the Will Smith movie. It was an all-around fun time. And no, it wasn't the one where he's fighting aliens. I actually saw Aladdin. I'm not even going to talk about that piece of crap movie here because this is the Godzilla Block Party, and we got some things to talk about. And before we get into that, joining me as always, my right hand when it comes to Godzilla on the G Show, you know him as Chase. I know him as G73. The world knows him as Megalon. Megsy, my brother, what's going on?
Man, I don't even know where to begin. It feels like we've gone through the Twilight Zone, and it's like Godzilla's kind of scattered all around, man. There's some things going on. It's like a broken, shattered piece. And let's talk about and get these pieces mended together.
Yeah, it's been a minute, all right? We took off last week so we can celebrate the 4th of July and just have a good time. Plus, I had family over, so I wasn't podcasting while my family was here because that would have been disrespectful and rude to my family. But so, dude, a couple of things. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, because we really haven't talked since the last time we did a podcast. A couple of messages here and there. I want to tell you, dude, I watched the entire Godzilla versus Evangelion 4D experience. I think last Tuesday night or last Wednesday night. I forget when. And I gotta be honest, man. Holy crap! They gave shit Godzilla some kind of personality almost, bro. He wasn't just this lumbering, walking brick. It was pretty damn cool. I gotta be honest. And as much as we crap all over that movie and that version of Godzilla, dude, I kind of enjoyed it. I gotta be honest. And I know you said you didn't really care about it and didn't want to do it, but I will say, if for whatever reason they ever, put that up on YouTube, without the 4D experience, where you could just watch it and it's formatted, in regular 2D, dude, I would definitely recommend you watch it just because you're a Godzilla fan, because it's actually entertaining for the, I think, 17 minutes it was on. I really got to give it up to them. They did a good job with that.
Yeah, no, I take your word for it. There's this guy on Twitter I've been following. I don't know how to say his name, but he makes his own 3D modeled Godzilla stuff, and they're really, really good CGI renders. And he made one of Shin Godzilla, and it's just a short little video. You may remember it, but it was just a short little thing, and Shin Godzilla roars. And I was like, man, if this Shin Godzilla that he made was actually what we got in the movie, I probably would have enjoyed Shin Godzilla a lot better. Because he even in that simple roar, the way he moved and performed it and expressed this roar, it was like, man, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, see, the things we miss out on, come on, it's right there. Yeah. But I digress. I did like it. I enjoyed it. I thought the King Ghidorah in there was pretty cool. And yeah, seriously, I would love to see that thing just formatted for regular television. To catch all the little details. I mean, you could see it. It's not it's not bad watching it the way it was. But yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I think. Hang on. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay, everybody. Oh, sorry about that. See, in the beginning, we did not have Game Z1 on here, but now all of a sudden, look who decides to join the party. Game Z1, everybody. How you doing, brother?
I was sleeping, okay?
Yeah, he was out like a light. He works a very long overnight shift. So, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry we started the podcast without you. But 4 o'clock means 4 o'clock, God damn it. No, I'm just kidding. Just to reiterate where we were
here now.
Just to reiterate where we were, Chase and I was conversating. I told Chase that over the holiday weekend, or week, I should say, because we took a week off, I watched the entire Godzilla vs. Evangelion thing. It was up on YouTube, and without going into all the details or doing another 4-minute rant, I'll just say that if it was ever formatted to regular television, I highly recommend it. They gave Shin Godzilla a personality, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. So, hats off and kudos to that.
I too watched that, and I pretty much agree.
Oh, all right. So you saw that like the full 14, 17 minute thing? Yeah,
I did on YouTube.
Cool, bro. It was cool. I enjoyed it. Man, hey, man, brother. Let me ask y'all real quick now that you're here. Chase and Gams. How was your 4th of July, man? Y'all had fun? Did y'all eat good? Did you cook out? Or did you just stay home and play video games?
That's me. I just stayed home and play video games.
Every 4th of July, I go over to my friend's house. I should say my family's house because they're a big family. But we go over and we have a big old block party and we shoot off fireworks and, I ate pretty good. We had steak, we had hot dogs, burgers, we had the good 9 yards and it was awesome. And then, apparently everyone this year around us, which is really funny because we just bought legal fireworks. Everyone around us, other than us, decided that we're going to have a bottle rocket extravaganza show. And with our little duddy fireworks that we bought from the side of the road, legally in California, everyone else probably went up to Reno, bought a little couple of bottle rockets from Boomtown and came back and just shot them all off. And it was pretty awesome. And I told them, next year I know what we're doing.
I'll tell you.
You see, those kind of fireworks are actually legal throughout pretty much all of Montana. So I could, if I didn't even need to buy fireworks, all I had to do was walk outside and get a show from the entire town.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
I tell you this, last year I was at a friend's house. I come home, and my pool was there was mortar shells and everything in the pool. My backyard was just a wreck. I was like, damn, man. This year, we stayed home. We barbecued here. Everything was cool. And, I mean, they did some fireworks around, and it was cool. We got to look at some fireworks around. But nothing crazy. I woke up, and there was just one bottle rocket chilling in my pool. I was like, I'll take it. I'll take it.
A bottle rocket in your pool?
Yeah, one made it over the invisible barrier I had up, and it was right there in the pool. But
was it working or was
no? It was it popped off already, and it was just sunk on the bottom.
Yeah, that's still kind of cool.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, listen, I'll take that over the freaking cleanup I had to do last year, July 5th. That was no fun. But anyhow, speaking of fireworks and 4th of July and video games and just festivities in general, this week is G-Fest. Give it up for G-Fest, everybody. Oh, yeah.
We're not going.
Love it, bro. Honestly.
Yeah, we're not going.
We're not going. As for Chase, we've been doing this podcast now, the Godzilla Block Party, for 3 years?
Oh, God.
About, right?
Almost 4.
Almost. And in every single year, I'm saying, I'm going to G-Fest next year. Well, I ain't at G-Fest this year. Things got in the way. We couldn't do it. I wanted to go so bad. But I couldn't. Upsetting, but it is what it is. But, yo, man, massive props to everybody out there that listens to this podcast and is at G-Fest right now. Seriously, bro. Boys and girls.
I mean, I was looking at everything G-Fest was going to be doing, and, I get it. It's Godzilla Fest. You want to be where the G-fans are, but I'm going to be honest. I didn't really think there was that much to be excited about.
Okay.
That was just me personally. Reading it, I didn't really think there was too much to be yeah, it's cool watching Godzilla movies, and just kaiju movies in general with a bunch of people. But, was it really worth me going to G-Fest and being a part of that? I just didn't really care for it.
See, G-Fest is such a lucrative place to go for someone like me because I'm a collector.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
And they have an entire hall full of dealers selling me shit that I don't need.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, 2000 and 2001 when I was at G-Fest, I spent about $2,000. I'm just saying. I mean, it was insane, and that's because I went and I bought so many cool figures, and really most of them were Bandai vinyls. But I loved them. I did get a bunch of dope statues and model kits and stuff. That's still in the box.
Back then, the SH Monster Arts and stuff, they weren't around back then.
Right? Yeah. Because trust me, I would have been broke a lot sooner than what it was. And back then, it's different though. Because back then, when I went to G Fest, Toho was still pumping out movies. So it was exciting to see what we were gonna, if we were gonna get a sneak peek at anything, which we did, and I've said this several times. We got a sneak peek of Godzilla X Mechagodzilla. We were the first ones to see a trailer, I guess in the States, and that was amazing. Like one of the Toho execs were there and stuff. It could have been one of the actors. I don't remember because that was literally 2001 or 2, I forget which when, but it was a long time ago. But that was dope. That was freaking awesome. And then, just coming together within the fandom and just hanging out and having a good time. Back then, it was just me and my wife, and I really didn't, hang around with anybody. The internet age wasn't upon us like it is now. If we were to say, let's say we were to go now, I would have a lot more fun because I'd put up a big post. Hey, who's going to G-Fest? See who's going through, various Godzilla groups and stuff. And then just, boom, let's link up. And I would totally be down for that.
And hell, we could do even more than just hang out at the con itself. I mean, we're in friggin' Chicago.
Yeah.
So, go to a nice restaurant.
Chicago, Illinois.
Just have a few beers. Be fucking great.
Gotta give a shout out to Chicago, Illinois. That's the home of my favorite band.
Which is?
Yeah, Disturbed's from there, man.
Nice. So shout out to everybody at G-Fest right now, man. Have a good time. Enjoy your weekend. And if you're listening to this podcast, DM us, and so I can give you some information so you can send us some fun stuff. Thank you. Yes, that's right. I'm trying to haggle people. Come on, send us some swag. I'm broke. No, I'm just kidding. But anyhow, G-Fest, represent. Have a good time, y'all.
Oh, I'm already envious of the people at G-Fest because I bet you a lot of people got their hands on the SH Monster Arts King Ghidorah 2019.
Is that? Are they showcasing that there?
It's out for a few sellers, but the seller that I bought it from delayed it until August, and I'm kind of mad about that.
Oh man, don't look at the group pics, bro. Don't look at the groups. Don't look at my King Ghidorah. But anyhow, yeah, man. G-Fest, rock on with your bad self. Really do respect that thing. I really love the fact that, I've been there twice, like I said, in the beginning of the 2000s. And the fact that it keeps going and it's strong, it's going strong, man. That's just a testament to us, G-fans, wanting something like that. And I give nothing but mad props to everybody who runs it, everybody who puts it together, and, of course, the people who go. So, rock on with your bad selves. Speaking of rocking on, Chase, I want to ask you a question. You brought something to my attention, and I didn't really look at everything. And if I'm not mistaken, they're going to showcase this thing at G-Fest. If not G-Fest, Comic-Con, but I think it's at G-Fest. And that's this kaiju video game that I keep hearing about. Is this what we thought we were going to see at E3 this year? Remember everybody was talking about this supposed legendary...
The Godzilla vs. Kong Arc System works?
Remember that one? But is this what it turned out to be? Or, what's the details on this, Chase?
No, I think this is something completely separate. I still believe that Godzilla game coming out or rumored is still a thing in existence, but I don't think it ever was intended to be showed at E3. I think that's going to be something more separate. I think maybe Comic-Con will show something. Maybe something more of the lines. I feel like once we get more information for Godzilla vs. Kong, they're going to do this just because when Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was getting hype, they announced Jurassic World Evolution, the game, around it too. And I think that's just what makes sense. But this game, this Kaiju Brawler game, It was just announced today, and it's just a generic kaiju brawler game that's going to be coming out to consoles.
Is this the resurrection of Colossal Kaiju Combat?
It looks that way. It looks very comic book style fighting. And I mean, there's not too much information to get really hyped about. Just if you're into kaiju brawler games, I mean, that's something to be excited about. But there's not too much talked about that's like, you know, like what monsters are in it, if there's something special or whatever. I mean, I think it'd be pretty hard if Godzilla was in it. That's a lot of money they have to buy to put him in it. But
if it ain't War of the Monsters 2, I'm not interested.
I know, that would be sick though if it was. But we got this kaiju brawler game coming out. I wish I knew more about it, but
we should probably have more details like after this weekend, correct?
What's that?
We should have more details after this weekend.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, look at y'all G-Fest getting all the good stuff early. But man, you know what? Not for nothing. You know what? As long as you can pick up a building and smash your opponent with it, I'm okay with that. But you know what would be cool? If I could rip up a tree from the ground and stick it in somebody's mouth, like, take that. Like this little
and yell for Kong.
Yeah, right? Little nods and homages. Maybe a freaking
eat your vegetables.
Long kangaroo kick or something, like one of those gliding kicks. I love it. I mean, why not? Just do it. And not for nothing. If you think about it, when the marketing and promotion of King of the Monsters was going on, and even after the movie came out, a couple of video games jumped on his bandwagon. And I've seen this a lot recently with just like high-profile IPs in general. Like, they license out the name to certain things. For instance, remember at first, like, for video games, Fortnite, they were talking about there's a giant eye in an iceberg, and everybody was like, oh, it's going to be Godzilla, and when it comes out, Godzilla's going to come out when King of the Monsters come out. And it turned out that wasn't the case, but then, PUBG did something where you had, they licensed Godzilla stuff, and, like, you had a guy who was, I don't know, his clothing was supposed to resemble Godzilla.
There was basically a Godzilla suit in the game.
And a King Ghidorah one. So things like that, I mean, like, what's to say that they maybe license, you know, Legendary's Godzilla up in this thing? You know what I mean? I would totally be down for that. But I guess we'll know more after the weekend's over. We'll know more about the game. We'll know more of what to expect. Is it going to be King of the Monsters from SNK back in the day? Or is it going to be War of the Monsters that Gam over here loves?
So, just 1 second, because it's so funny with Andrew talking about War of the Monsters, because I just pulled up the post about the game, since we're on that subject. And it is going to be called Dawn of the Monsters. And it's by 13 AM Games. The game will function as a 4-player co-op brawler game.
Ooh.
The full reveal for Dawn of the Monsters will take place on July 12th at 7:30 p.m. CDT time during G-Fest.
Man. Yo, massive props to G-Fest. They're going to premiere a video game. Come on, man. Like, come on. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, so that's tomorrow, July 12th. As of this, ladies and gentlemen, we do pre-record these things on Thursday, so I'll just give you a heads up. But wow, okay, so cool. So, all right, we will, by the time the next podcast rolls around, we'll have a lot of information and be able to talk about this in a little more in detail. I'm excited. I'm cool with this.
I'll send you some screenshots, too, so you can check them out. They have screenshots of it.
That'll work, yeah.
Okay.
That'll work. But anyway, next time, I want to jump off into this next topic real quick. And I know it's like being a dead horse, but I do want to say, the box office for Godzilla King of the Monsters, not for nothing, at the end of it all, I do applaud it. It's not what we want, not what I wanted. It just, you know, as a fanboy, I would have loved this movie to absolutely crush. It did make its money back and some more. Again, we don't know how much marketing and promotion cost, but the production budget is estimated at $170. That's the number they're sticking to. We're sitting at 382 worldwide right now, and you know, it's not what the first movie did. It's not what Skull Island did, but to me, at least to me, it's applaudable. You know, like I applaud it. It did what it didn't do what I thought it was gonna do, but it did. It made its money back and made some more. I'm proud of it.
And it still has the rest of July.
And it for most places, there's still a lot of movies to be coming out. I will say this though, and I looked this up today, and I was like, "Good God, this is all my fault." I looked at the box office for the weekend. Of course, Spider-Man crushed it. By the way, if y'all haven't seen Spider-Man, go see Spider-Man. Woohoo! Spider-Man absolutely crushed it.
That Far From Home is a great movie.
Great. But do you know what was the number 5 in the top 5 movies of the weekend? No?
Godzilla.
Oh, I wish. No. Godzilla was 13. It was Aladdin. Aladdin was the top 5 movies. It was in the top 5 of the box office. I was like, oh my God.
Aladdin's not even in my theater anymore.
It's still around here, and it drives me nuts to think about it too, because it's in several theaters around here where Godzilla's not playing anymore. When I went to see Spider-Man, Aladdin was still playing, and I'm like, why can't you bump one of these movies and put Godzilla in? I don't. Like, come on, it's close to me. I can't travel 35 minutes to go see Godzilla. No offense, I love my Godzilla, but
that's what's funny too is Godzilla's still showing where I'm at. Not like it was. Like, it's probably going to be pulled next week, but it still has shows. Aladdin, you can't even see it here.
That's crazy, and it's still prominent here, and it's crazy because I think there's 2 theaters that have Godzilla, and they're not around me, but they only have like I think 2 or 3 shows in each theater. You know what I mean? For each one. And it's like there's one in the morning, then it's weird. It jumps to like, so let's say there's one at like 10 o'clock in the morning, then it jumps to like 4 o'clock, and then it's at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock. And that's it. So it is what it is. You know what? I won't lie, people. I will tell you the truth, though. I did buy tickets to see Godzilla, but I did not go to see Godzilla. I just wanted it to give my money. That's it. I don't care. I support
you're
the cause.
a generous man, Robin Hood.
Yeah, and I ain't got no money. That's the crazy thing right now. It's like the summer be draining the shit out of me because I work at a school and the funds are gone already. But yeah, you know, I had to do it. It's you know, it's why we do this podcast. It's something I love, so why not?
I really want to bring up a question. It's interesting. First, I want to say I do want to give props to China for leading Godzilla because it did make $130 million Wednesday in China, and you know that's just what it made so far. Never mind, I'm going off. But props to China for keeping Godzilla afloat. But I'm getting really sick and tired, and I keep seeing all these articles, especially with Screen Rant. Screen Rant, if you're listening to this, you suck. But I'm getting sick and tired of seeing all these articles talking about how, like, oh, Hollywood is in trouble. All of these remakes are everyone's starting to finally get into the mindset of everyone's sick and tired of remakes. I am very tired of them saying Godzilla King of the Monsters because in every article they're saying Godzilla King of the Monsters is a remake or Godzilla movies are remakes. Every one of these articles are talking about how Godzilla being revived is a remake, and I'm getting sick and tired of it.
There was only ever one remake, and that was Shin Godzilla.
Well, exactly. And the thing is that I'm everyone, and all of the articles lead with talking about Godzilla versus Kong too. Godzilla versus Kong is not a remake. It's not going to be a remake, and it's just irritating me that our society and these journalists are literally going to arms and giving these movies a bad name and everything, and they don't even have all the information correct. They aren't educated. And it really shows, and it's really irritating because this Godzilla franchise, this Godzilla series that we are in right now is nowhere near a remake. And the 2014 was, but these two sequels are not remakes. And I'm just wondering, and the question is like, look at all the movies that have come out this summer. Like, none of them have done really well, except, with the exception of Aladdin, John Wick, of course. But
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man. But even Spider-Man in the beginning wasn't getting the hype that they were expecting. But
Spider-Man made $183 million in its opening weekend, bro. That's... I don't think Godzilla is at $183 million domestically in 6 weeks in the theaters. So it definitely...
Well, we're not talking about Spider-Man.
I know, but I'm just to counterpoint yours.
We're talking... I just basically want to talk about is... Are these movies failing just because critics are uneducated and spreading this? And we live in a society... Like, I don't know. How do you guys feel about these critics and these journalists labeling the Godzilla movies as remakes that are coming out? Like, am I not alone in being irritated with this?
Gam, you want that?
I mean, like, looking specifically at Godzilla, it's its own franchise. Like, yeah, you could make arguments that 2014 is a remake, but it's more of a reboot. There's a fine difference between a remake and a reboot.
Uh-huh.
A remake is basically taking the plot of a previous movie and making it modern. A reboot is taking a character and putting it in a brand new movie that the character hasn't been in.
Right,
in
reintroduces the character.
Yeah, rebooting the character. Godzilla 2014 and the MonsterVerse as a whole is a reboot to both Godzilla and Kong. And that's how that is. Yeah, there's the Disney remakes. Those are definitely remakes.
Oh yeah.
And nobody likes those. And the only real remake other than the Disney ones that I can think that came out this summer was the Child's Play remake. And that didn't even last 2 weeks in my theater. I don't know about y'all.
It's still playing. When I went to see Aladdin, it was... I'm not Aladdin, Aladdin and Spider-Man, actually. Yeah,
it's only still playing at night where I'm at.
Oof.
It's playing at like 10 o'clock, that's it.
Yeah. So, like, I could see where people are coming from with getting tired of remakes. But dragging Godzilla into it when it's clearly a rebooted franchise rather than any sort of remake to anything is kind of insulting to me because...
And that's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah, because people are getting remake and reboot confused.
Mm-hmm.
You know? They're not the same thing.
I agree, both of y'all. I haven't read the articles, but I take Chase at his word. Yeah, that is a frustrating thing to see. It's not a remake. It is absolutely a reboot, a revamp, a reimagining. You know, hell, Gino wasn't a remake either. It was a reboot. You take the name and you take the character and you reintroduce it to a brand new generation. That's not a remake.
Yeah,
it's a reimagining.
Literally, like I said, the only remake that has ever been made in the Godzilla franchise is Shin Godzilla, which is a remake of Godzilla 1954.
I don't even buy that. I think that's more of a reimagining.
Either way.
Yeah.
But, like, you look at the other reboots. You look at, like, Godzilla 1984, The Return of Godzilla. That's not a remake of Godzilla 54. That's technically a sequel to Godzilla 54 in the form of a reboot.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you right now, and you look at franchises that does these type of things. It's not a remake, and I absolutely agree with Chase. These people, yo, if you're an editorial writer or whatever the case may be, and you're writing these things and you're calling this a remake, you're absolutely wrong. Because would you call James Bond a remake? And that is a fucking franchise that's been around as long as Godzilla.
God, yeah.
And it's not a remake. They constantly reboot James Bond. It's a reboot, and that's exactly what Godzilla is. That's exactly what Legendary did. They did not go back in time, not back in time, but they did not go back to the very first Godzilla movie and say, we're going to take this plot and we're going to remake it for a modern audience. They didn't do that. They added Mutos. They added a whole different element to it. Yeah, Shirazawa was there. Sure, that's awesome. But there was nothing in 2014 that comes close to what the original 54 was. Nothing. And I love 2014. Everybody knows this. I unabashedly love that movie. But it's not a remake. It's a reboot. It's a reimagining. So yeah, I agree, Chase. It upsets me to hear that these people are calling it remakes. But I will say this. I think, and I'm not justifying anything here, but what I think is they're going after the biggest dog in the room. Now, Godzilla, don't get me wrong, we're fans. There's some people, they know what Godzilla is. It's established. Godzilla's established, okay? But it's not one of those things that when you say Batman, you automatically know. You know what I mean? Batman is Batman. Oh shit, Spider-Man. Boom, you automatically know Superman. Godzilla's there. James Bond too, you know what I mean? But what I'm thinking is, because Godzilla has that name, that power, that stigma, they'll use that as a basis for attack because it's one of those supposed to be big budget blockbuster movie that didn't do well. Whereas you can take something like X-Men Dark Phoenix and they can spin it and say, well, it was the end anyway because Disney bought Fox, and it was the last Fox X-Men movie, and the last one wasn't good either, so it was gonna be a train wreck. They had the first time director doing. Oh, they could spin it any which way they want to, right? And get away with that. To me, they went at Godzilla because it was the big dog in the room. It was the one, and it's unfortunate, but it was the one that, for us, this was it. This was our promised land. We're going home, boys. This is the one. And then it did not perform. And then you got those people who are going to automatically point to that and be like, look, it doesn't work. Take Godzilla, for example. When you don't have to take that, for example, you can take X-Men, for example. Stop spinning the bullshit. X-Men sucked. It bombed. It bombed hard.
It really did.
And now it was an already established franchise, which, by the way, was fucking booted from the first three X-Men movies.
Yeah, the first class rebooted the entire franchise.
So, Chase, I agree with you. Yeah, it's upsetting.
I just really hope it doesn't plague on for Godzilla vs. Kong. I really hope that Godzilla vs. Kong gets the justice for King of the Monsters that it deserves. Because I honestly feel like the Monsterverse needs justice. Not like justice as in movie quality, but justice as in the name. And so it just, like, I'm shameful. I'm shameful for our media. I'm shameful for our journalists, you know?
Yeah, like this kind of reminds me of the situation that happened like a little bit before the movie came out, with all these like Twitter personalities complaining, oh, it's another Godzilla movie. They've made the same movie 35 times. And I'm just like, have you actually fucking watched the movies? None of the... You look at Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster and then jump to like Godzilla X Mechagodzilla 2002 and you tell me that's the same movie?
And again, that's just the ignorance of people who don't follow, and ignorant, it's crazy because ignorance sounds like such a nasty word, right? But the fact is, ignorance it's a very descriptive word. Yeah, it's a truthful word. They're ignorant of the fact they don't watch Godzilla movies. That's just how it is. We're fucking fans. We're super fans. We're uber fans, right? They're not. They don't watch it. So when it comes out, they don't know Godzilla died in 1995. They don't know this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just trying to trend. And that's the unfortunate side effect of it all. They're just trying to trend. Click my link. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Oh, shit, there's a Godzilla article. I'm going to click it. Sucks so much balls. Son of a bitch. And it's just for the click. It's clickbait, you know? And it's fucked up. It is fucked up, but it's what? Damn. Chase, that was an excellent question, bro. Seriously, that was not even in the topics. That wasn't even in the topics. I thank you for that.
It's been on my mind for weeks because I've been seeing these articles pop up, and it's just like I couldn't hold it in anymore. I didn't want to talk about it because I'm trying not to spread negativity towards like Godzilla, but it's something where it's like this is becoming an issue because it's not just like Godzilla they were talking about tons of movies like Secret Life of Pets, and I'm like, Secret Life of Pets isn't a remake. But it's funny because these articles were like talking about, like, they were listing all the like top movies that came out, not like top as in box office, but like the most recent. And it was like labeling all of them. All of the articles were labeling some form, like remake, reboots. The American people are, getting tired of, these movies. And it's like, what are you talking about? But
it's crazy.
I digress with the whole thing.
Mean, I can understand if they go the route of people are getting like franchise fatigue.
Yeah.
But if they're talking about franchise fatigue, why you haven't mentioned a single Marvel movie, so what the hell?
And yet the Marvel movies are still what's making money, so it's kind of like it's hypocritical to me in a way.
Yeah. Like, if people have franchise fatigue, then why is the MCU still the most successful franchise in the history of cinema?
It's very narrow-minded, I feel like. It's very narrow-minded.
I agree.
But anyways, I'm ready to move on if you are.
Well, no, yeah, it's funny. It's funny because it is actually a perfect segue into the next topic. You were saying how you don't want this to be spun negative and just this vitriol towards the Godzilla franchise. The next step in this evolution is Godzilla vs. Kong. That's coming next year. It's there. We spoke about it. It got pushed back. It got pushed forward. It got pushed back to its original release date. It got pushed everywhere. But you know what we've heard? That it might be getting pushed at Comic-Con. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the G Show podcast. Listen, when the Comic-Con is a week away, okay? I mean, G-Fest this weekend, and next weekend is Comic-Con. Like last year, you know for a fact we're going to be glued to the freaking YouTubes. We're going to be texting each other back and forth on Messenger, through text, probably on the phone, chatting, probably doing this thing live, Hangouts, even though last year we tried to do it and it fell through, and I still haven't figured it out. But, dude, the rumor going around is that there will be something for Kong, or Godzilla vs. Kong, at Comic-Con. And yeah, I honestly believe if the movie's coming out in March, they should show a first teaser right now. I mean, they put up a teaser for Kong Skull Island, and they put up a teaser for Godzilla 2014, and they put up a teaser for King of the Monsters at Comic-Con, and those movies came out in May or June. I forget when Kong came out, but it might have been March.
Kong came out in March.
Right. So,
yeah,
I mean...
Kong Skull Island, yeah.
So it's a trend. Don't jump off the trend. Follow the trend. Unless they're saying, well, maybe it's trending. But if you look at what has been going on, Godzilla was here. Kong was a little bit lower than that. And King of the Monsters is not near that. And maybe we shouldn't. But I digress. I believe we will get a teaser. I believe this rumor is true. And yeah, what better way to showcase this? Even though Warner Brothers is not going to be at Hall H. Something's going on, bro. Something's going on. So, Chase, I'm going to ask you, bro. Do you think we're going to get this teaser trailer?
I don't know. Maybe a concept teaser, maybe. But everything about it is so wishy-washy in a sense that there's like nothing. There's like people going back against their words and stuff, and it's like. I don't really know what to believe. I do think we'll see something whether it be like concept art or something. I mean, I believe there'll be something. If you're going to have a Godzilla presence there, especially with Toho being there, why not have something to promote something that's more relevant at the moment, and that's Godzilla versus Kong. Not saying that what Toho's doing isn't relevant, but you have something coming out new, fresh, in the works, coming soon, very soon. Why not do something for it at an event like this? And I don't know I don't really know what to expect, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something. I still feel like the movie shouldn't come out in March. I still feel like the movie needs to be pushed back. But I think if it's coming out in March, you have to show something at Comic-Con, or else it's just going to be way too late when you put out a trailer, in my opinion. But I guess we'll see. But I'm looking forward to it. July 19th, man. I'm marking down the days. But another rumor started because on the Monarch website, all of the people that were, you do the thing where you kind of skip ahead in time to see what's posted. And there's like, on July 19th, there's going to be an update someone saw on the Monarch website. And it's like a whole web design update. So I'm certain we'll see something, and it's going to start with Monarch Sciences, like how last year.
Gam?
So I heard about that too, and I'm not so sure about that Monarch Sciences update, because it's starting to, like, literally these people are saying that there's going to be a new outpost that reveals itself, which is under Outpost 56, where Rodan was, the exact area where the oxygen destroyer got detonated, and it's supposed to be called Outpost 95.
Oh! You shut your face! You shut your face!
Yeah, no, that's precisely why I think it's fake.
Okay, you shut your face, because that's
precisely
Destroyer.
why I think it's fake, because Destroyer?
Yeah. No. You shut your face.
Shut up! Shut your face.
G95 ain't on this podcast right now. You shut your face.
False? No.
Oh my
That's not
God.
happening.
Oh my God.
I don't think that has to necessarily claim it's Destroyer. I mean, that could just be 95 due to the fact that's like when Godzilla ended,
Well, you trying to say Godzilla's gonna die? No!
No. I just think, like, it just resembles that, it's just an Easter egg in passing. It has no significance. I mean, but the thing is there was talk.
The fandom holds on to these little tidbits.
Yeah.
They hold on to it real tight. So everybody is going on social media. Destroy is now confirmed, and I'm like,
oh no, that's crazy.
No, hold on, just 1 second. Hold on, I want to finish what I was saying. There were talks of Destroyer being in the film a long time ago, but those obviously weren't the case. I mean, I'm not saying it's true, and I agree. The fandom is very toxic, and they hear one thing and they spread it like the flu.
Sounds like journalism.
But it wouldn't be something out of the realm. I would be, confused, like shocked on, because let's say Godzilla versus Kong is the last movie that we're going to get.
We are,
and Legendary knows it, and Toho knows it. Why not go out balls blazing, and add something like Destroyer? I mean, I'm not saying it's happening, but I'm saying, there's nothing saying that it's not happening either at the moment.
Quick question.
Just like how King of the Monsters had stuff, and it was like, there's nothing debunking it, and most of those things came true.
Quick question. Would you rather A, see Destroyer in Kong, Godzilla vs. Kong, or B, see Mecha King Ghidorah and Godzilla vs. Kong?
I would rather see Mecha Godzilla and Destroyer.
Gams?
I mean, they've already set up something like Mecha King Ghidorah, or something with Ghidorah's head. Something's going on. So why not follow through with it? But whatever. If if this proves to be true, if Outpost 95 is indeed going to be in that Monarch website update.
You just have to think of maybe it's not even the update for that specifically. Maybe it's something else coming down the line. But I'm just thinking, you have to think of the repercussions that have happened with them using the oxygen destroyer. What happened after they did that? I just think that's going to be weird if they don't touch on it at some point, But I'm not saying it's happening. Look, I mean, it's far fetched, but I'm saying I think there's weirder things that could happen. I
am going to say this, Chase, as I don't think it's as far fetched as you might, only because I was so, and you know this, I was so stubborn and dead set against that Godzilla was going to be burning Godzilla, even though, it was he was overpowered, whatever it was called. But I was like, it's just Godzilla on fire. That's all it is. He probably fell in the atmosphere and he's on fire and that's all it is. And yet, no, there it was. It was like fucking burning Godzilla. So I don't think it's that out of the realm, out of the ordinary, just because I was already proven wrong. I'm not saying that's what it is, but, if this rumor is
we're going on the route of them making mechs.
Which was established,
organic creatures,
right? Which was established in the post-credit scenes. But just say, for argument's sake, that there is an Outpost 95 that pops up in the Isla de Morro, wherever Rodan popped up from. That is a very interesting and telling sign for us G-fans. The normies ain't going to know about that shit. They're not going to know. But we get it. We get it. And do I want to see Destroyer? Not really. No. I was really mad at the whole, burning Godzilla situation. It's just like, that's what it is. But regardless of that,
I have the image popped up right now. So apparently, Monarch will be adding a new outpost after the MonsterVerse panel at Comic-Con. The 3 Monarch outposts. One of them is Outpost 54, which is at Bikini Atoll.
Wow.
They'll be adding Outpost 33, which is at Skull Island.
Makes a lot of
Skull
sense.
Island's already there, but I guess they're actually going to give it an actual outpost number.
Yeah, it says classified outpost or something.
Yeah, and then Outpost 95, which is at the Gulf of Mexico, slightly underneath Isla de Mara.
Come on, and listen, and because to me that sounds cool. Whether it's real or not, I like that idea. Do I want to see it come to fruition? I really don't know. Because to me, I just want to see Godzilla fight King Kong and beat King Kong. Is it really what I want to see? Right?
But we already know, that's not what's going to happen. It's not going to be a straight-up Godzilla versus Kong movie.
And that's what I've been saying for the past, 7-8 months. That
I know, and none of us were disagreeing with you.
Exactly. It's gonna be the initial fight, like Batman v Superman, and then they're gonna have the Doomsday plot device, which could either be Mecha King Ghidorah, or if this is legit, hinting and nodding at Destroyer. But let's be for real here. We all know what it's going to be, and mark my words, today it's gonna be bagging. Because he is a concept that hasn't been done yet, and if the Legendary Universe is able to do it, I'm just saying, it'll be considered, listen to me, it'll be considered an original character. It would be considered like the Muto, like any of the Titans that rose outside of Marco Rodan and King Ghidorah and King of the Monsters. It would be an original character, because let's be for real here.
I don't know about that one. I don't know if I'm going to see Robo Chicken.
Because it hasn't been on screen. That's the only reason why I say that. It's a concept from Toho that has never made it to screen. The Skullcrawler, for instance. You go back and watch the Spider Pit and Kong. It's there. In 1933, the Skullcrawler is there. It's climbing up the wall. Matter of fact, Driscoll, he kind of like swings at it and then it falls back down. But they took that little thing and turned it into the antagonist of Kong Skull Island. So that thing was on screen before. That's not an original concept. Bagan, on the other hand, and I'm not saying, ladies and gentlemen, that this is happening. I'm just saying that is a possibility that Legendary can do this, right?
But like, can they though? Because Bagan, yeah, he was never on screen in a movie, but Toho still owns the rights to him because he was in the video game Super Godzilla, which was made by Toho.
And Toho also owns the rights to King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan. I'm saying,
Legendary would have to license the rights to Bagan from Toho.
And let's just say, with Toho coming to Hollywood, that this is already in the works. Like, this is a plan. And I'm not saying that this is where it's going to be, because the more logical thing would be Mecha King Ghidorah, or if this whole, Outpost 95 thing comes to fruition, Destroyer. But I'm just saying, it's not out of the realm of possibility because of what King of the Monsters was setting up in terms of, creating new life, creating new Titans using whatever. That was the concept of Bagan, bro.
Or the idea, if King Ghidorah came from space, what other things can come from space?
Love that. Absolutely.
But I guess we won't know until July 19th.
Oh, and that's a week away, dude. And for a fact, we got this podcast coming out now. We will have another podcast coming out on July 19th, but make no mistake about it, we might have a 2 podcast coming out on the 19th, because we'll do the one that we pre-tape on pre-record on Thursday, and then we will be watching Comic-Con very closely. And if anything pops off in the realm of Godzilla, you can guarantee that you're going to hear our voices. But anyway, jump into the next and final topic of the day. I really do want to promote this. I want to pimp this because I think this is very cool and kind of important in our little field and our genre here. Again, this is Godzilla Block Party. It's not always going to be about Godzilla. It's about giant monsters and just that whole genre in general. And I just found out today that Ultraman, the entire catalog of Ultraman, is going to be coming to the States. For the first time ever, we're going to get every single Ultraman series released on Bluray in a steelbook in high definition. And I gotta be honest with you, I absolutely love this news. I just recently found Ultraman. I mean, I knew who Ultraman was for a long, long time. Just never got into it. I don't know, maybe it was the whole idea of a, half-hour show with giant monsters. I always thought the monsters looked corny and stuff. I'd rather watch an hour and, 45 minute to 80, an hour to 50-minute movie with Godzilla tearing shit up, or any giant monster in general tearing shit up. So I just recently started watching Ultraman, like maybe 2-3 years ago. And yeah, the original Ultraman series, like, I enjoyed the shit out of it. I'm still stuck in Ultra 7, I will be honest. I am still only in the second Ultra show. But I have watched a couple of different things. For instance, I watched something that was recent in the 2000s, Ultra Galaxy Monster Battle. I forget, I can't really remember the name. But it wasn't necessarily an Ultraman show, but then was exactly an Ultraman show. And I was like, wow, that's freaking dope. And I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed everything from the cheesy effects, from like the cheesy, they look like 90s effects. They really do, even though it was made in like the 2000s, maybe 2010s. But I enjoyed it. And now we're getting a whole catalog coming. I mean, everything from the shows to the movies. And for me, this is very exciting because on my journey to watch Ultraman, I have to tiptoe through places that I normally don't go to because, it's not the right thing to do. And in doing so, they don't have all the old stuff. They have most of the new, if not all of the new, but they don't have, you know, Return of Ultraman, for instance. There's a couple other ones that I can't because there's so many Ultraman shows that I don't have a list. But all of that's coming now, and it's going to be legit. Price point's a little bit high, but I will say this. For a show...
Yeah, I was figuring if you have the near 60-year history of Ultraman coming out at once on Blu-ray...
No, I don't think it's at once.
That's probably going to be a pretty penny to collect all of it.
Yeah, I think they're going to come out intermittently. I know the first two, Ultra Q, which was the very first Ultra series that had nothing to do with Ultraman, but had giant monsters and crazy, like, it was like the Japanese X-Files in the early 60s. That and the very first Ultraman series is coming out, which I watched, and I enjoyed the shit out of it. I really did.
Now, are they going to have the original English dub for the original Ultraman series? Because I know that the original Ultraman actually did come to America.
It did.
And it was dubbed.
I don't know that. All I know is that we're going to get the Japanese track with subtitles, and I'm okay with that because that's the way I prefer to watch it. But $40, the $40 price tag, that's steep, but I will say some of these series has something like 50-something episodes. So that's less than $1 an episode. You know what I mean? I'll pay the $40. And they're not coming out all at once because if they were, you're absolutely right. That's going to be crazy. Because you're going to, like, oh shit, you got to pick and choose. And then you don't know if they're only making X amount, you know? So you want, if you're a collector, if you love Ultraman, shit like that, and you want it, you know, you're not going to be able to pay your rent or your mortgage that month. Because you're going to spend some stupid amount of money, you know, like $2,300 on Ultraman. Yeah. So I like the way they're doing it. It'll come out intermittently, but my fingers are crossed that they do come out with each one. Because I honestly, I'm a sucker for stuff like this. I would buy each and every one. I really would.
I wonder if this means once all of these past shows... come out and are on Blu-ray and are out there for people to buy, does that mean that any future runs of the show will actually be shown on TV again?
That's a really good question. Because in the article I read, it said that they're coming out with what's out right now in Japan, like the latest edition of Ultraman, the latest series, and then what's coming next. And one of the things I like about Ultraman is that it's never really the same person from season to season. It's a different Ultraman, and I dig that. With again, the exception of the Ultra...
Just keep Ultraman away from Saban. I don't want another Power Ranger situation where Ultraman is some American teenager guy.
Well, I doubt they're going to do that. But I like Shout Factory apparently is trying to get all the Super Sentai to come out, and that's a catalog in its own right. Like, that's crazy.
Oh yes,
that is crazy. I watched Zoo Ranger, which was the basis of the original Power Rangers out here. I didn't finish it, but I watched enough of it, and I was like, God damn, because I hate Power Rangers. I'm gonna be honest, I can't stand it. I don't like it. When it came out, I was a teenager already, and I was like, this is just a ripoff of Voltron. Get out of here with this bullshit. Not knowing what Japan was doing. You know what I'm saying? I was, here's the word again, ignorant to what was going on in Japan, you know, before I was even alive. All I knew was Voltron, and now I'm seeing this live-action version of it. You don't get me wrong.
You ask any adult who's a quote-unquote Ranger fan, and they'll always tell you that Super Sentai is better.
And it's true, because I watched it and I enjoyed it a lot more. And I didn't go and watch any of the other series, but I have watched a couple of movies. And I will say that it's fun, man. It gets the adrenaline pumping, and I enjoy them. But Ultraman is about giant monsters and you know, a giant alien being who fights them. And for the series to be coming out, like the entire series, man, I'm excited. I'm happy. Yes, it's a little bit pricey. But the fact that it's coming out here in the States, I think that's a win for fans of our genre. You know, I mean, somebody's paying attention, and they're like, hey, even if it doesn't make what it should make, it's there, it's out there. We can get it. So I'm excited for it. So Chase, you've been quiet. I want to ask you, I mean, what do you think of this news? Is it good news for the genre? Are you excited? Like, how do you feel about this?
You know, from full heart honesty, I've never been a big Ultraman fan. I only really flew on the Ultraman stuff just because of Zone Fighter.
True.
So, I mean, as a buyer, I mean, I personally wouldn't buy it, me personally, but with the idea of the fact that this is something that's coming into flow, it makes me hopeful that Godzilla could get more props over here, and all of its movies maybe could get remasters and, you know, pushed out over here. I mean that's really the only benefit that I see for me personally, is that's what makes me hopeful for. But as Ultraman as a whole, I mean, it doesn't really pique my interest. I mean, I would find something worth spending $40 on different up my alley, but I do think it's cool in the sense of like being a kaiju fan in general. You know, I think it's the first step in making kaiju and monster movies and just movies of that time period known more again, and, you know, kind of this reminder of like these existed a long time ago and now they're back again. I feel like for kaiju fans as a whole, that's a win. You know, it's a step forward in getting the respect I feel like we need. So that's where I stand on it.
I like that, man. That goes back to slapping those journalists in the face. Take that, you dinosaurs. Gam, what do you think, man? How do you feel about this?
I mean, it's pretty exciting. I mean, I recently, like you, have been watching a lot of the original Ultramans, not in a way that Subaraya would like, but it's a very exciting prospect, because you got all these old properties that places like Shout Factory and Criterion and all of them that they're gaining the licensing and the rights to these old movies and shows and stuff and just releasing them to the public. Some of these, like the original Ultraman series, that nobody has gotten exposure to unless they actually can understand fluent Japanese and buy the Japanese Blu-rays, or do what you and I did. And it's a very exciting prospect. And I think when it comes to Ultraman specifically, I think the catalyst that led people to start with these plans to release the original series is the Netflix anime.
Yeah.
The Netflix anime came out. People are starting to realize that Ultraman's pretty dope. And then I think these companies going, oh, hey, Ultraman can be profitable. Just look at the profits Netflix is making on this anime. Let's release the original series and see how that does.
Yeah. And you know what's kind of crazy? Because you think about it like this, too. What's Subaraya? Well, I can't even fucking say the words. Subaraya, thank you. What do they got to lose? Absolutely nothing. They're going to make a profit any which way. They're going to make the profit because this company, and for whatever reason, it eludes me right now, but the company is going to buy the rights to it so they can lease it, and that means they're going to make money off of that. And then I'm pretty sure they're going to get some residuals from each sale, which is great. And I'm seriously... Oh, it's Mill Creek. Mill Creek Entertainment. Okay, you know what? I got to be honest.
They've been in the game for a while.
Mill Creek is some of my favorite remastering companies.
Yes. So
like Mill Creek was behind the Gamera Blu-rays, and those are some great Blu-rays.
With the exception of those stupid redneck dubs, because to me, that really sullied what I hold in high regard.
No. They didn't release the Redneck dubs. Mill Creek is the recent Blu-rays.
What do you mean recent Blu-rays? What you talking about, Willis?
They have one Blu-ray which is Gamera 1 and Gamera 2, and then they have another Blu-ray which is Gamera 3 by itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And the dubs of those aren't the Redneck dubs.
No. But I have those. They have the Redneck dub on there. It's a choice. It's an option.
haven't been able to find them then.
Yeah.
There's only one English dub, and it's just a straight English dub.
I have Mill Creek's Gamera Legacy.
That's what I have.
Yeah, and it's the Blu-ray and it has the 3 movies.
Yeah. Well, either way, props to Mill Creek. I enjoy them. I appreciate them. And I think that, you know what? I think that they are going to go forward and release. And let's be for real here. This is dating back to the 60s. And there was a small lull between Ultraman series. I forgot when. I think in the 80s it cut out for a bit. And then it came back the late 80s or early 90s. And then it's just been nonstop. But props to Mill Creek. And I think they're going to hold on. I think regardless of what sales say, I think they are going to stay true to their word and release everything. And honestly, personally, I just need the first couple of Ultraman series because you can't find them anywhere. I don't want to get the Mandarin dub. I'm sorry. I just don't want to do that. Nah. The subtitles are terrible. I'm not dealing with that stuff. But I think, well, hey, last question before we go in regards to this. So they're talking about getting the entire catalog. Does that include, I wonder, the American and Australian Ultraman shows that had one season that came out? Do you guys recall this? Because I do. Maybe y'all might have been really young when this happened, but there was an American Ultraman. And I'm not talking about the Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Not even the Hanna-Barbera cartoon. That was... They took the anime that I can't watch that at all, actually. I tried to. I did. I'm telling y'all people, I tried to watch the anime. I didn't like it. But if I'm not mistaken, there was an American Ultraman, which, now that I think about it probably was the damn teenager thing. But there was one from Australia, and I watched the first 2 episodes, and I can't lie. They went to Mars, and it was fighting this, and I think it's a classic Ultraman creature. It was like a caterpillar with but it was cool as fuck. And I was like, damn, this ain't bad. And it was in the 90s. I wonder if they're going to get that too. Because it was a co-production with, go ahead, Gam, I can't say the word. Subaraya. It was a co-production with Subaraya. So I'm wondering, do they get that too? Because that would be freaking cool, man.
That'd be pretty dope.
Well... Listen, I'm going to wrap this up.
Before we wrap up,
I'm not going to wrap this up.
That did come out. I was wondering if either of y'all got this. Have either of y'all gotten the recent steelbook of the original Mothra?
I saw a picture somebody had. I do not have that yet. Why?
Apparently it's supposed to be a really good a really good remastering. I don't know if Mill Creek did it, but if Mill Creek did do the Steelbook of Mothra, this may be a precursor of things to come. If it's a really good transfer of the film, maybe that would be a way to ease the mind that Mill Creek knows what the hell they're doing.
Well, I didn't have any doubt with them, especially with the Gamera trilogy.
It was Mill Creek.
Awesome.
Okay, so Mill Creek is behind the Mothra Steelbook, so all right.
Oh my God, Mill Creek with Mothra, Ultraman, Gamera, confirmed 2021 to destroy all monsters movie that Legendary has been waiting for, courtesy of Mill Creek. It's happening. You heard it here first, people. That's not true. But that being said, we're going to get out of here, man. We won 110 into this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. I want to thank my cohorts for joining me. Chase, my brother, thank you.
Oh, as always.
And Gams, even though you were about 4 minutes late, I want to say thank you for waking up and joining us.
Yeah, thanks for stopping the podcast to bring me in.
And I want to thank, of course, everybody out there listening, everybody at G-Fest right now, man. Enjoy it. We'll be back next week. Not once, but twice, especially twice, if we get that Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. And that's it, man. I'm G1. We out of here. Peace.